What's up, Starcraft fans? Some months ago, I told you guys about the worst zero-tool ally I've ever had. Like, not exaggerating, the worst zero-tool ally I've ever had in my life. This is that game. Some of you asked me to cast that game, so here it is. So I'm playing as Zagara. The prestige is Scourge Queen. This will allow me to cap at 150 supply. No hero, but I'll have so many Banelings and so many Scourge to delete whatever it is that enemy will send at me. I was just looking for a straightforward game, you know, just chilling out, playing on the solo queue, helping people complete missions. And if I run into lower level players, which I usually do, I get to help them. It's a double win. They need help leveling up, and I just need a bit of leeway to stretch my legs, so to speak, in co-op. Even though, you know, I'm just sitting down when I play co-op. It's called stretching your legs, your RTS legs. That's what it's called. When you help newer people in what's supposed to be a co-op game by doing most of the work. It's pretty fun. I hear a lot of people complaining about newer people, whereas in my opinion, newer people are kind of the lifeblood of video games, because when newer people come in, it gives basically an extended run of the game because more people play it for the intended duration, whereas old players will, you know, long tenured players will kind of just keep playing it and just run it out. You know, old players like myself who just let their zerglings chill on the base for no reason. Instead of, yeah, certified co-op expert here, letting my zerglings just chill in the base instead of attacking the rocks. Yep, that's what I am, guys. I had a comment on my Discord just now. Why CTG is so slow, like a Gold League player? You know, I take that as a compliment, actually. Because I am a slow player. Because I don't really play fast. I just play co-op. And it doesn't really require like hundreds of APM to play. And like the fact that you could call me like the third from the bottom of 1v1 rankings is kind of a compliment to me, because I don't play 1v1. I don't know any builds in 1v1. I don't know any strategies in 1v1 aside from, you know, make your opponent leave the game, make more units, and that general stuff. But you know, I don't really play 1v1. So the fact that this guy thinks I'm good enough to be Gold League in 1v1, yeah, it means a lot to me. I appreciate that. Got some Zerglings here, and you know who won't even make it to Gold League? Amon. He sees with his Zerglings that I have a bunch of Banelings waiting for him. So what does he do? He sends all his Zerglings en masse to fight my Banelings. My splitter Banelings. Oh my goodness. I guess that's one of the fun things about co-op. You just have an enemy who will not even bother to split their units when they're up against splash damage of co-op units. This is the worst zero-tool ally I've ever had, by the way. So here he is. Actually, this is the second game we played together. The first game we played, I was also playing as Zagara, Scourge Queen, just chilling out. And this guy just completely cleaned the map. Like, he just completely just deleted like the last set of Thrashers and the third set of Thrashers before I had a proper army. I was still getting Zagara's Bailing upgrades and Scourge upgrades. I was still trying to get myself saturated on 2 bases. I think it was like 8 minutes into the game, so I was just finalizing my last upgrades and getting my expansion saturated when I noticed I was already completing the game. Fair play. So I thought, this guy seems like he knows what he's doing, so I probably can't slack off against him. I have to be on top of my game. And of course, the very next game I queue up into him and then you just have my Zerglings chill in my hatchery. Which is, you know, par for the course in co-op, I have to say. If you're expecting Maru or Serral level play, co-op players is probably not where you want to be looking. I'm just saying. Co-op players are good at playing co-op, but you know, as far as 1v1 skills, some of it does translate, I guess. I mean, at the very least, enough instinct to just keep making more units and to try to make those units provide as much value as possible by deleting the enemy before they get deleted themselves. That is, I guess, a 1v1 skill that translates into co-op, but you don't really need a high level of skill to become that effective in co-op. You just need, you know, a rudimentary level, or, you know, as that guy in my Discord said, Gold League player level skill, which again, I take as a compliment. Thank you. So now we're waiting for the we're just chilling. So it's really nice when you've memorized the spawn patterns of a map, such as Temple of the Past. You can just know that enemies will spawn here. Zeratul tried to come in. Please, Mr. CTE sir, can I have a few kills, please? I mean, it's like, no. No. No kills. No caps. You already have a cape, Zeratul. Come on. Can't take my own capes. Meanwhile, this Zeratul splitting his void eyes on the corners of the map. And actually, this is a pretty good unit choice, the Abrogler. If I see Ground Zerg as the enemy, well, it's classic Ground Zerg. I would have just gone for Void Templar. I think Void Templar would have been a finer choice here, but you know, Abroglers are a fun option. I wouldn't complain if you gave me Abroglers. I would just personally prefer Void Templar. Anyway, Void Thrasher's down, so we're now taking down the rocks with our Zerglings instead of our Banelings, because you know, why would you want to sacrifice your splash units on rocks? Because you're not a Gold League level player. That's the answer. So, apparently... I guess I just was kind of expecting a little early. But yeah, I thought that it was pattern B. There was no way it was pattern B because it was pattern A. I knew it was pattern A because the ground hybrid spawned at 6 minutes. That tells you that it's pattern A. There are two spawn patterns, Temple of the Past. Pattern A, pattern B. You can determine which pattern it is by the timing of the first attack wave. If the first attack wave gets announced at 3 minutes 10 seconds, that's pattern B, which means air hybrid and extra thrasher. But if it gets announced at 3 minutes 15 seconds, that's pattern A. You get the double wave at 9 minutes, you get the transport waves, and you get a big wave at like 20 minutes into the game instead of, you know, the extra thrasher. That drone, you can't have me, no. Meanwhile, 11-minute wave will be here soon. Ally is just getting ready to intercept. My Banelings are getting ready to give them a big ol' hug. A big ol' Zagara hug. Enemy's like, excuse me. Oh, no, no. Oh, I'm not gonna fight that army. I'm just gonna walk over and stand over here. The funny part is, even if the enemy does get some units through this section, they'll just literally stand over here because that's how they're programmed. And the units there are just like, I think I'll just stand over here while I'm getting shot at behind my back. Perfect logic. Oh my goodness. RTS games are kind of funny in their own way. Though I guess it's kind of more of the AI of the units or the attack wave rather than the game itself or RTS itself. That makes sense. Attack wave at 12 minutes spawns here and promptly gets deleted by Banelings. I think Banelings are one of the only units. Actually, I think Banelings are the only unit that can shoot things faster than do toxic nests. So, spider mines hit fast, but not as fast as toxic nests. Toxic nests detonate almost instantly, but from my experience, the only thing that can detonate faster than toxic nests are Banelings. Basically, Banelings can steal kills from toxic nests. That's crazy. That's insane. Although that being said, they can always, you know, just run in front. But you know, what I'm referring to is just the toxic nest and the Baneling standing beside each other, no running forward, and the unit drops on top of them. The Baneling gets the hit first. That's just how it works. Banelings are so insane, especially Zagara's Banelings. They're insane. I think they have a little bit of range to them or something. The trigger range maybe, or the trigger time. Maybe the toxins have a slight delay in their detonation animation, whereas the Balings connect pretty much instantly. I think that's how it works. I could be wrong, but I think that's how it works. Meanwhile, the Zeratul ally is just kind of chilling. He sees that I've been doing a lot of the work, so he just, I guess, kind of sits in his warp prism, in his little palace in the sky. Come to think of it, where do Protoss units go when they're in warp prisms? Can someone tell this? Can someone explain this to me? When a Protoss is in the warp prism, is it, because I don't see it physically. I don't see physically anywhere where the units could be in this warp prism. This guy stuns the worst Zeratul ally I've ever had. So where do these guys all fit physically when they're in the warp prism? Are they like decompressed into data, like raw data? Or are they warped into like a holding area in the void or something? Or are they just like compressed into like a super dense substance like neutronium? I don't know. I don't know. Do they get put in the black hole or something? Because that would destroy them. Like that would low-key destroy them. I mean, they're Protoss units. They're not, you know, jelly. They have like armor and stuff. How does that survive getting in the black hole? It's like spaghettified and stuff. Anyway, Baling's here, getting ready to welcome the next wave. I know that my options here are to make overdudes, but I'd rather let my ally have that. Like, it's his. I don't really mind. After all, I've been doing most of the work so far. He's free to take back some stuff. I mean, I think I already got a measure of. I already got a little bit of payback from the previous game where he pretty much did everything before I could do anything. So now this game is the opposite. I'm doing everything before I can pretty much do anything. So it's kind of just fair play, right? It's fair play. He takes one game, I take another game. It's fair. Meanwhile, I rush over, destroy this Thrasher. So next minute, 18-minute wave will be a hybrid wave. Some hybrid here, some hybrid on the other side. It's on the opposite corners. And if you're aware enough of the attack waves on Temple of the Past, you'll know that. By the way, guys, comment down below if you've memorized the attack patterns on Temple of the Past. Or what maps are you still not, or what maps have you still not memorized the attack wave patterns of? I know that I still haven't memorized. I could probably just check Starcraft2Coop.com for the attack patterns of Cradle of Death and Part and Parcel. Those are the two most recent maps. But I just haven't gotten to it for some reason. I probably will at some point, but you know, not today. Just not today. So that was the anti-mid attack wave. Just cleaned up because I know it. Oh, that's pretty disgusting. Look at that splatter on the ground. That red splatter. Oh my goodness. You know it's really brutal when there are not even solid parts remaining of the enemy. It's just goo. Like not even cut down. Just liquefied. My goodness, that is brutal. Brutal +6. So at this point, I want to bring your attention to this area. I put some creep terminus here to extend my creep all the way to the ends of the map so that my Zerglings and Banelings can move through more easily so they can fight the enemy. My ally has started a few cannons here. He's trying to defend the ramp. I don't know why he wants to defend the ramp. He clearly has seen me run to the very edge to destroy all the enemies as they land. Instead of waiting for them to come up the ramp, I don't see a point to this. Why is he doing this? Is this just some weird habit that he wants to stick to? Is this some sort of, I don't know, some flex that he wants to make a lot of cannons? Is it just out of good macro? He is floating 1,000 minerals, so he wants to spend that money in cannons and just put them in a wall formation because he's maybe not that confident in his ability to hold this attack wave? I don't know. At this point, it's not clear. But as you can see, He shot my creep tumor. There was a creep tumor here, as you saw earlier, and he shot it down to basically completely wall this area in. And not only that, he shot a fresh creep tumor that's not even blocking anything. Why would he do that? Just to place a few cannons that, let's be honest, are not really necessary. What is the point of this? Why is he doing that? I don't know. He wants to spend money, but he has a whole base to build his cannons from. Little iffy there, ally. A little suspect. But that is the third attack wave. We are almost done with the mission. Well, not almost done. We are like 70% of the way done. Actually, more like 80% of the way done. So that is the last attack wave. Meanwhile, another attack wave will be headed in around 22 minutes. I have Bailings ready to greet them, say hello, give them a little hug, and oh, look at this. I'm trying to send these Banelings. Yeah, nice. I'm trying to send these Banelings over to this area to fight the attack wave, but the cannons, my allies' cannons, have physically blocked my Banelings. So my ally walled me out of this area. So not only did he destroy my creep tumor, he blocked my Banelings from getting to the fight. And look! He left these two lurkers unattended. That's kind of dangerous. So I need to get there somehow. So what I do is I blow up one of his cannons, just one. Just a little sliver, just a little gap, so that my units can get through. And what does he do? He does this. Like, I destroy one single cannon. And as a response, he warps in all his cannons on not just my main base, but also my expansion. And look at this. He just starts shooting. Like, not just my hive, also my evolution chamber. My evolution bay, my engineering chamber. My extractor, my spawning pool. He's resetting my entire tech. He's even shooting down my extra hatchery. He's even shooting down my expansion. So like, this guy's gonna eliminate me. I did make an extra hatchery here to prevent myself from being eliminated, but like, at this point I have like 2 buildings remaining. I did notice in time that I was not getting any extra Banelings. So like, I saw that my ally was shooting my buildings, so like, I realized what's going on. He got a little salty because I did to him what he did to me the last game, and he didn't like that. So like, he just started shooting my own buildings. Like, if I had not made these hatcheries, we would have lost the game because of elimination. And now I notice he's trying to find he's not even interested in fighting anymore. Like, check this out. He's not even interested in fighting. He's just interested in shooting my buildings. He's not even interested in fighting the waves anymore. He's trying to look for every single building I have, shooting it down. And look, he's gonna unload all his units here and shoot down the hatchery that I have making. The good news, I do have a lot of minerals floated, so I can remake a lot of hatcheries and try to get one set up before my ally can shoot it down. I even have like 3 hatcheries here on the ramp where the enemies will spawn, just to make sure that my ally can't spot all my buildings. Or I guess, quote-unquote ally at this point. But this loser guy, instead of fighting the enemy, decides to eliminate me instead, because he got salty because I was doing to him basically what he did to me last game. So he can dish it out, but apparently he can't take it. So now he's just being a little idiot and trying to eliminate all my buildings. And he can't even do that properly. He tries to shoot the 2 hatcheries that he saw here, but he's not even fast enough to spot the 3rd hatchery that I built. So he just outs himself as a complete loser and now tries to talk all condescending with a so cute laughy face as if he did anything. This loser thinks he's like condescending and stuff. He tries to be condescending, whereas he actually failed twice. He failed to delete the enemies before I can get to them, And when that failed, he tried to destroy all my buildings, and he failed at that because I noticed in time before I could eliminate all my buildings, and I was able to start random hatcheries on the map to prevent myself from getting eliminated. So, this person, this loser right here is the worst Zeratul ally I've ever had, bar none. I've had plenty of terrible allies, bad allies, but this guy takes the cake because he's a loser twice over in the same game. Can you believe that? So yeah, that's the story of the worst Zeratul ally that I had, this guy. If you see him, kindly let him know that he's the worst Zeratul ally I've ever had. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. I'm just kidding, by the way. If you have an idea of what else, please leave it in a comment. I'll see you guys next time. Oh, by the way, there's another game that I want to show you. One where I managed to break 4-digit APM for the entire game. So I was able to average over 1,000 APM for the entire game. So comment down below if you want to see that. I'll see you guys next time.